To start our unit on linear functions, we must start with the concept of slope. Slope is basically a rate of change um, over the horizontal and vertical axis. So we have learned about this in Algebra 1, and this should be just a quick review of some stuff that you've learned in previous years in math. So if we look at slope, we have a nice picture here of the rise and the run, and so a lot of times slope is defined simply as the rise over the run. So it's the vertical change, which is the rise, to the horizontal change, which is to the run, and we write this in ratio form, or easily known as a fraction. So if we look, we have a nice little formula here for this, and so the rise is actually just the change between the two y values from the given points, any two given points on a line that has a slope. And then the run is the change in the x values. Now, you can see that we use subscripts of x1, y1, and x2, y2. This really doesn't matter which order we take these in, as long as we're consistently pulling from the same point in the same order. So this equation, or this formula for the slope of a line is extremely important for you to understand. And of course, you will definitely have questions given to you similar to example number 1, where you must find the actual slope of a line that passes through two given points. And so you can see in example number 1, we give you 2 points, and we just ask you to plug that into the slope formula. And then you see we have a negative 4/5 for example number 1. Now, if we had changed the order and we had come in here, we could have started with 5 minus 1, and then we could have done negative 3 minus 2, and this still would have given us 4 over negative 5, which would have been the same as the negative 4/5. So you can see that the order does not matter as long as we pull them at this from the same points. Now, sample problem number 1 has us finding the slope of a line that passes through negative 2, 0, and 1, 2. So what I'd like you to do is just pause the video, use example number 1 as your guide, and go ahead and work this problem. Okay, and so I'll just take one method, and I'll start with point 1 and point 2. That way I can keep things straight. So I'm going to start with my y's. My change in my y's goes on top, and then my change in my x's goes on bottom. Now this is very important that if you're subtracting a negative, that you are paying very close attention to parentheses and not getting those confused. That's going to leave me 2, and that's 1 plus 2. So my slope is going to be 2 over 3. Now, if you chose the other route, you may have gone with 0 minus 2, and then you would have had negative 2 minus 1, which would have given you negative 2 over negative 3, and then of course the negatives cancel out, leaving you 2/3. So slope would have equaled 2/3 here either way. Okay, and that's a good quick introduction to calculating slope when given 2 points.